All right, guys, we are here today. We got PPI inflation data, the other side of the inflationary token, coming out today. We'll see what we get. Yesterday, we had much worse than expected inflation data. Today, everybody's waiting to see if that reflects itself on producer price index data, which is, again, expected to drop right here, 8:30. Producer price index data, which is... And, yeah, we'll see what happens. We honestly rebounded all the way back up, though. So we honestly came all the way back up. Does PPI come in higher than expected, similar to CPI? Let me know. Vote on the poll. Hit the like button. We appreciate it. Wendy's posted some numbers this morning. They posted 25-cent EPS versus 24 cents expected. Revenue of $460 million versus $440 million expected. So missed EPS and revenue for Wendy's. Moody's came out with some numbers as well. 262 versus 259. Better than expected EPS. Revenue of 1.67 versus 1.7 expected. We're going to put those up in chat as well. Wendy's, Moody's, Global Payments. Fed Goolsby said yesterday that if we get multiple months like CPI, then the job is not done. So yesterday was a weird day. Some stuff went up big and some stuff dropped. Nvidia very red this morning. Or not super red, but red. Apple's red. Tesla green. Netflix. Netflix is flat. Palantir's down this morning too. AMD's green, Meta's red. This week there is a report every day. So this week's been a very busy week because of that kind of aspect of markets. And again, we're covering economics. And so there definitely is a report every day. Oh, that's what we're here for, so you can kind of know if there is a report or not. Channel's been growing, though. Look at this, man. Look at our channel here. I hate Windows 11, dude. I really do. Windows 11 is horrible. But look at the channel growing here. Look at this. 20,000, 24,000, 28,000. We keep going back here. You can kind of see another 13,000, 9,000, 13,000. So the channel's been growing a lot. So we appreciate you guys helping it grow. Hey, what's up, Rich? PPI should come in higher. Yeah, it's expected at 0.3%. PPI live here at 8:30. There we go. 82% think yes. PPI comes in high, similar to CPI. Interesting. Very polarized votes on the poll so far. I mean, granted, we only got about 100 votes already, but still. What's the impact if PPI is higher? Will the market be down? Well, we can speculate on it. Probably, but we don't really know for sure PPI's reaction. PPI's reaction is a little bit different than CPI, to be honest. And so we don't know. Sometimes PPI chooses to do something completely opposite to CPI. It doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but I would assume high is worse, low is better, similar to yesterday. All right, guys. All right, guys. So yeah. Hey, John, good morning. So you reckon PPI lower? I really don't know. I would assume PPI is going to be higher, in fact, not lower, but I don't freaking know, man. Just because PPI was higher yesterday, so I'm going to assume it's higher today, but who knows? Again, it's nothing is guaranteed. So see what the big news story is. All right, guys. So again, Nvidia down, Bitcoin down, Q is down. Let's see if we can make some money today. Q's actually not down some. So here's the biggest stories in the U.S. Stock futures hold steady ahead of PPI. Stock futures were basically flat this morning. Investors await January's producer price index data scheduled for 8:30. Economists anticipate 0.3% monthly increase following a significant rise in CPI earlier yesterday. CPI's unexpected surge has heightened concerns about inflation and its potential impact on Fed policy. Cisco Systems shares climbed 6.4% after the company surpassed second quarter earnings expectations and raised its revenue outlook. AppLovin, the mobile app tech, saw a 30% surge following strong quarter four earnings. Robinhood saw 13% gain after exceeding profit forecast. Trade Desk is down almost 30%, and John Deere down almost 7% this morning. New York Stock Exchange, new announcement of Texas. The NYSE plans to launch a new exchange in Texas, aiming to attract companies to list their securities in the state. It comes as several major businesses, including Tesla and SpaceX, have relocated to Texas due to its favorable legal and regulatory environment. The new exchange, NYSE Texas, will rebrand NYSE Chicago and operate from Dallas as a fully electronic equities exchange. That's big news. I'm here in Texas. Maybe I can do something with it. I don't know. We'll see. SailPoint's successful IPO marks strong return to the U.S. market. Cybersecurity firm SailPoint raised almost $1.5 billion in its U.S. IPO, offering by prices of about $23 a share at the top end of the marketed range. This IPO values the Austin, Texas company at about $12.6 billion and could set a positive tone for upcoming IPOs in March. It's under SAIL is a new symbol. SAIL, not really out yet, but we'll see what it does. But yeah, that's big news today. Russia-Ukraine talks going on. Investors are optimistic about peace talks. They said the president spoke with Ukrainian president. They fostered hopes for a resolution. The optimism has contributed to a rally in European stocks and a rise in the euro this morning. So that's optimistic news today. And again, a lot of people are waiting for PPI as well as jobless claims unemployment filings dropping live today as well. So not only do we have PPI, but we have jobless claims unemployment dropping live today as well. Right now it is 6:12 East Central Standard Time, 7:12 Eastern Standard Time. It's until 8:30 Eastern Time, so we have about an hour and about an hour and 13 minutes, or 17 minutes, sorry. Let me put this timer up for you. Here you go. Here is a timer for you, sir. Bitcoin. Oh, I gotta fix the screen, guys. Y'all gotta remind me to fix the screen here, man. It's the second time. I changed it for the Jerome Powell speech. Never changed it back. There we go. That's pretty good. All right, let me fix this. A little snowy up here, is it really? If so, if CPI was high and NASDAQ dipped, PPI typically following CPI using the same move. PPI doesn't always follow CPI, though. And that's the thing. I would assume maybe PPI comes in like as expected as balance, but I might be wrong here. I would assume since CPI was slightly higher, maybe my guess is my honest guess is maybe like PPI shows up month over month like 0.1% higher than expected, and year over year shows up as expected. Something like that is my guess. But I might be wrong. I'm just straight up guessing. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. Remember, I'm not an investment professional. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything I say here. It's entertainment only. Experiences, wins, or losses may be done off stream. I might lose off stream and not tell you about it. Don't copy me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. We can't guarantee anything. Some of these links are affiliate, and don't copy me. I'm not really going to talk about politics here, BM, regardless of what I think, and it doesn't matter either way. So we got jobless claims, unemployment, and I forgot we had jobless claims today too, to be honest. Yeah, so we got jobless claims today. I forgot. Nobody watches your charts, maybe because you never do any TA on them. I mean, listen, I get it. You're trying to be like a troll, kind of like a hater guy. If you don't think I do technical analysis on my charts, especially when I'm like day trading, you don't actually watch the stream, brother. So again, you can try to troll coming from somebody that very clearly doesn't watch the stream at all. And it's all good. Hey, it's all love. Like, troll your heart away if it makes you feel better about yourself, you know? Like, do what you gotta do, bro. You know, it's all love. I wish you the best. Yeah, it's got to be his first time here. Look at, like, literally, let me pull up Top Step X and tell me I don't do technical analysis. I don't have any levels. This guy literally just told me I don't have any levels on my chart. Bro, okay, here. I'm not even mad. I think it's hilarious. Let me show you why I think it's hilarious. Is because look at my actual charts. Like, here, let me put a long-term chart up here. Yeah, guys, I don't even know what a level is here. What's a level, dude? I don't even know what that is here, bro. Look at this. What's a level, guys? You know? Anybody know what a level is, dude? I don't even know what one is, guys. Silly old me, just never doing levels. Never drawing levels on my charts here, man. I know there's no levels on my left chart here, you know. I'm sorry, guys. Why care? Oh, I just felt like trolling the troll a little bit because I probably draw. The reality is I probably draw too many levels on my chart on the NASDAQ. Realistically, I draw way too many levels. I short-term traded though, so you got to understand, like, I'm using these levels to guide me on the trades. Honestly, my levels, if you watched the stream yesterday, right? If you watched the stream yesterday, my levels actually work pretty well. Like, I was watching the Jerome Powell testimony and like looking at my levels, and look at these things, man. They work pretty good. Yeah, like, we're gonna put these back up on the charts later on, but yeah, for now, yeah, I gotta troll the troll if I can, you know. Like, if I'm not trolling the trolls, what am I doing in life here, you know? Yeah, the beginner trading super duper technical indicator of the world. 5.3, you know. Yeah, so producers are important. Yeah, we definitely need more cowbell for sure. Definitely need more cowbell. We definitely need more cowbell. We need it. We just need it. All right, again, we need more cowbell, guys. It's kind of loud, you know, to be honest. But hey. Let me know if we need more cowbell, guys. I should have done that as the poll. Do we need more cowbells? Tariff announcement? I don't know, man. I really don't. You know what's kind of crazy is that we're getting to the point where half the people probably don't understand the cowbell joke. Like, we're aging out of what's funny and not what's not funny. Like, we're aging out of it, I think. I think probably some of the, like, at least a percentage of people here never heard that joke, the cowbell joke. They're too young. Do we have higher or lower PPI? 77% of people think yes, PPI comes in higher than expected, similar to CPI. Again, I don't know if that's the case or not. I'm guessing it'll either come in at neutral or higher, but who knows? It could also come in low. And I don't have the same accuracy that I have on CPI with PPI or any other economic report for some reason, and I'm not sure why. I told my wife, I was like, yeah, baby, look, I got CPI right again, at least the year over year one right. I said 3%, it should have been 3%. Not only that, but this is like 8 or 9 out of 10 of the directions, right? Like, I've gotten the direction of inflation data with CPI correct almost 90% of the time, which is very strange. And she's like, well, how are you doing it? And I told her, I was like, I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing. But I don't think I have that type of guessing power with PPI for some reason. We'll see today. Again, I think PPI will come in flat at, what's its expected? Yeah, I think it'll come in at I don't know what's expected year over year, but I'm assuming it's going to come in flat. My guess is it's going to come in at 0.3% or 0.4%, but I have no freaking idea. Like, either flat or slightly high. Yesterday, Pedro, I thought that Fed said yesterday that PPI matters more than CPI. Well, they said not really. They said that the personal consumption expenditure, what's called the PCE data, core PCE specifically, is more important than CPI or PPI, because it is, right? The Fed looks at the personal consumption expenditure index, specifically core PCE is what the Fed uses to gauge inflation. When the Fed says they have their 3% inflation target, they're referencing specifically core PCE inflation. So PPI, it's important, but it's not as important, you know? Yeah, he gets banned. Yeah, again, I'm telling you, like, the biggest haters are people who have tried to, like, create YouTube channels and failed at it. And so if you know, 100% true, 100% true. Yeah, I said I thought CPI would show up at 3% yesterday, and it showed up at 3%. Slightly high. Hey, thank you, Tower. Gold? Where's gold at right now? I know Bitcoin's down. Gold is interesting, though. Gold, I mean, obviously gold reacted very positively to high inflation data because it's gold. It's a hedge against inflation, so people are going to flock to a safe haven asset like gold in moments of scariness for stocks. If PPI is high, gold will go up, and if it's lower than expected, gold will... it's not that easy, Wolf. It's really not. No, I'm not streaming Coinbase. Coinbase just isn't big enough, to be honest, recently to make it worth it. Hey, that's true, Cohen. That's definitely true. Brandon, good morning. Hey, what's up, dude? Fair. I'm just trying to understand gold. Gold moves in a macro sense with markets a lot of the time, but it's also kind of a different animal when it comes to inflation data. You know, like high inflation data can make gold go up when the rest of the market goes down, but when you zoom out, gold tends to follow the rest of the market in some ways. It just depends on what happens, right? Like it's slightly different. It's certainly not perfectly like parallel movement with S&P or the NASDAQ, but it moves similar to the S&P and the NASDAQ outside of inflation data drops and stuff like that, as well as like anything that might contribute to economic weakness in terms of like safe haven assets getting bought up. Like if the economy's weak, if the geopolitical landscape is uncertain, people might flock to gold. And so it's a little bit different, but it generally moves in a macro way with the rest of the indices. Yeah, but almost 10 years ago, Vision. I'm grateful to have the regular chat this AM. It gets so weird. Yeah, dude, those political streams. I'm not even trying to make it that way, but there's so many people there that it kind of makes it hard to manage. Like when those political streams get talking, like, and again, both sides are just getting their feathers ruffled. You know, I'm very much like politically neutral. I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't like bureaucrats in general on either side, and I'm not really going to root for either side, and I'm just going to kind of stay out of it. That's very much that's true to how I am in real life as well. I last bought gold 10 years ago at $13.90 an ounce. For it to have only doubled in 10 years is an absolutely terrible turn. I have some coins like everyone else does. I mean, a 10-year doubling is pretty standard with the rest of finance, you know? So like, put it this way, if the S&P grows, if you invest $100 and the S&P grows by 10% a year, I mean, compounding is going to make it a little bit better than just a basic double. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I mean, you're going to grow by maybe 160% over a 10-year period through compounding. But even if you don't compound, right, and you just do 100, you just do 10 times 10, you're going to get 100, which is 100% gain over a 10-year period in the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow. So if you take away compounding of it, it's going to perform, it's performing similar. Gold has actually, over the last like 25 years, outperformed the S&P. At least it had. Let me see what it is now. Let's see the percentage increase for gold. Yeah, so gold, since 2000, gold was at, what, in 2000? About 280. So gold has gone from 280 all the way up to basically 3,000 since 2000, the year 2000. So gold is up, let's just call it 1,000% in that period of time, 1,000%. The S&P or the NASDAQ, let's put the QQQ up. Since the QQQ's had a little bit better gauge. The QQQ in 2000 was at about 60 or so in the QQQ. QQQ was at about 60 in 2000. Today, oh wait, man, this thing's gonna far outperform. Or no, never mind. It went from 60 to 528. The NASDAQ has done about 780. So yeah, gold since 2000 has outperformed the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ has about 7x'd in this period of time. Gold has about 9x'd in this period of time. Or gold is 10x'd in this period of time. NASDAQ is about 7x. So gold has outperformed the NASDAQ in over a 25-year period. Now, gold was at a really weak spot in 2000, and so that might be why the percentages are a little bit different there. And I think if you take that aspect out of it, where if we look at gold and we go to 2000 and we look at like where it could also be in some points in 99, where it was at 320s or 350s or 330s. Let's just call it 330s. And gold's at 3,000 now. Then gold's pretty similar to the NASDAQ 100. Would you invest in the S&P or gold this year? I think right now, it's hard to tell, to be honest, because there's arguments against and for each. S&P up big over the last 3 years, 4 years, huge percentage increase in 4 years. Gold's huge percentage increase recently as well. I think I would probably buy about equal stakes in both, because I think if the S&P 500 is weak, people might flock to gold. If gold is weak, you know, it might mean the S&P 500 and other stuff's running, or they might move in a positive correlation. So I'd probably buy a little bit of both in a even. That part is up to you guys, depending on what you guys want to do. Everybody's a little different there. Gold has not even come close to the S&P 500. Yeah, I mean, Rich, man, you seem to be really emotional here, brother. It's all good, dude. What I'm saying is that looking at the historical percentages, and again, this is not my percentages. These are just looking at where each of these things, gold and the NASDAQ, were at in 2000. If you want to look at the S&P, we can. S&P in 2000 was at... Really, the S&P 500 in 2000 was at 1,400. So it looks like the S&P lagged behind all of this stuff, to be honest. The S&P was about 1,400 in 2000. It's at about, what, 6 now? Yeah, it's at about 6. So the S&P has kind of lagged behind all of them. So yeah, gold has doubled what the S&P 500 did in terms of gains in the last 25 years. And so I think you have a misconception about them. Gold has outperformed the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 over the last 25 years. The problem with gold is that when it downtrends, it can downtrend for a decade or longer. And so if you buy it at an unlucky time, it's going to underperform the rest of the market. But if you hold it long term, generally it's going to outperform. But again, not an investment professional, you know, who knows? Okay, so Rich, buddy, what price did you have the NASDAQ out in 2000? It's all good. Well, what price did you have the NASDAQ out in 2000? Let's talk about it. All right, guys, we got an hour until inflation data comes out. The QQQ was 20 in 2000. Let's see. The Q was not 20 in 2000. The lowest the Q has ever been was in 03 or 02 at about 1976. In the year 2000, the Q was at 60, 70. I think you're changing the price to fit your argument, sir. You got to look at the actual price in 2000, which is right here. Here's 2000. Really, the Q was at about 90, so I probably gave it a little bit extra benefit of the doubt with a lower price than I should have on the Q. Q was at about 90 in 2000. And so from $90 up to 528, we'll call it 530, even to stretch it a little bit more. That's about a 488% gain in the last 25 years. Yeah, and I think this is a good conversation. It'll help people at home learn. But yeah. When does Nvidia hit 200? I don't know. It's got to make it over 150 and hold first. That's a big if. We'll have to wait and see when that happens. Jobless claims today also going live. They were expected at 215K, 215K. Last time they showed up at 219. Well, no, I mean, I'm just looking at the last 25 years, Rich. Again, man, like, listen, it's all good. We can agree to disagree. I'm just looking at each of their prices on the year 2000. And so, again, no offense, Rich, but you were wrong. And, you know, you can either say, hey, you're right, I was wrong, or you can be toxic because you were wrong. You know, you can pick. It's all good. Whatever you want to do, bro. Yeah, let's see what jobless claims do. Jobless claims show up at 215 today, potentially. That's what they're expected at 215. The question is, does the market want higher or lower jobless claims? I would say usually the market wants lower jobless claims because jobless claims are how many people are filing for unemployment. But I think considering the current context of inflation fearing markets, I think the market might want higher jobless claims, signaling less people spending, signaling less inflationary pressure. It doesn't mean that's the case, but I'm speculating that might be what we get. My setup, I've got a G9 ultra wide 49-inch monitor on the bottom. Ultra wide is what it's called. And then on top monitor, I've got a 34-inch ultra wide. So I've just got two monitors. I used to have four, but I replaced the bottom three with an ultra wide monitor. That's really nice, super useful. Hey, thank you, Towers. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah. Again, we'll see what we get today. It's very, very important, very relevant. We'll see what happens. Yeah. I'm gonna ban this guy too. This guy is just kind of like, I'm looking at his old posts and he says technical analysis is for brain dead. Oh, you do technical analysis. I really dislike this guy. He's just sitting around waiting to kind of poke buttons. Good day to you, sir. It's a little early for me to ban all these guys. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, let it out. It's okay. You're banned for life. I hate you forever. But it's okay, guys. Listen. It's fine to get mad at something like subjective, I guess. Like if I say I like chocolate cake and you're like, I don't like chocolate cake, that's fine, you know. But I'm just looking at actual, like, as young people say, facts here. You know, I'm sorry the facts hurt your feelings, chat. When do we see gold significantly sell off in history? Is when monetary policy loosens, so gold leaves to make profit off credit. Yeah, I mean, that's somewhat true, Brown, for sure. Yeah. You should eat chocolate cake. I love chocolate cake, dude. Yeah, it's all good. It's part of being a YouTuber. You know, that's how it goes. Yeah, let's make the day awesome. I'm for it. I am drinking community coffee. I think I'm drinking king cake coffee, to be honest, right now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue about the Earth. That's a, you know. Listen to the trumpet going this morning. The trumpet's just going. Gold is climbing. If inflation news is high, will gold rise? That's illogical, right? Yeah, that's what it did yesterday. So CPI inflation came in higher than expected, and gold ended up rising. Yep. Yeah, again, I'm going to tell you guys some stuff like I tell my daughter, okay? Sometimes you got to admit you're wrong, okay? If you end up just kind of acting like a child when you're wrong, when something's proven wrong to you, you just seem, you know, you seem a little young. It's okay. If anything, I'm top 3 most wrong person in the world right now, I would say. Definitely top 3-ish. Most wrong ever. Will the cost fall if PPI comes in higher? Yeah, I mean, there's also some arguments that PPI is a little bit different in terms of its correlations. You know, like PPI has a lot to do with manufacturing. And so PPI and manufacturing, you know, are very, very related. PPI is viewed as a leading indicator of inflation. If producers are paying more, or if producers are charging more for goods, these costs may eventually pass on to the consumer, is the logic behind it. Gold's role as a hedge regarding PPI. So when inflation expectations rise, gold only benefits because it's perceived as a store of value. A higher than expected PPI can increase demand for gold, similar to CPI yesterday, pushing gold prices upwards. I'm not saying they will, it can, is what I'm saying. Rising PPI can also weaken the dollar, so the Dixie can move down. A lot of the time, the Dixie and markets are going to, you know, have a negative correlation. But again, rising PPI can weaken the dollar if markets believe inflation will erode purchasing power. A weaker dollar tends to support gold prices as well. In terms of stocks, when PPI rises, it indicates higher input costs for businesses. If companies can't pass these costs on to consumers, especially if CPI remains stable, their profit margins might shrink, leading to lower stock prices. You want to pay attention to industrials and manufacturing. Sectors relying on raw materials can face pressure from rising PPI. And another thing is that elevated PPI can influence the Fed if the central bank views rising producer prices as a precursor to broader, worse inflation. It may adopt a more hawkish stance, raising rates, keeping rates higher, pausing more than cutting. so forth and so on. Rising PPI can signal future inflation, leading bond investors to demand higher yields. Higher yields and interest rates tend to follow each other, so higher yields and rising PPI leading to higher yields can signal a more hawkish Fed, of course. Rising PPI can also reflect higher commodity prices. This can benefit commodity producers, energy companies, miners, but hurt industries heavily reliant on those inputs. So PPI is a big data release, influences market inflation expectations. Higher than expected can boost gold, put pressure on stocks. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hey, thank you for becoming a member, Trey. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Yeah, I don't know about all that stuff. I think they're optimistic for the war, but who knows, man. CPI came in, gold dropped, and then it went up. I assume the same thing will happen. You could assume. I don't think it's... I think there's too much variance with this type of stuff, to be honest. So it does. There's too much variance with this type of stuff. There really is for me personally. Like, I'm not really trying to bet on the same type of reaction here in markets. I'm just not. I think there's a lot of variance that comes with this stuff. Yeah, y'all hit the like button. How many likes do we have? I don't know. Let me see. We have 105 likes. At least we're over 100. Appreciate it. John, I don't like crypto, but what altcoin would be a top 3 pick? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I like Solana. I like ETH. I like, yeah. I mean, I have to check out that landscape. I like Bitcoin. VeChain's nice. I like VeChain. VeChain is what they used to track, like luxury goods. John coin. Yeah. I'm never gonna do a crypto coin. Again, don't copy me. I'm not an investment professional. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Yeah, ETH has been a little volatile. The only risks for ETH, like, there's some, but you know. Steve, the GOAT. Yeah, Saints, new coach. A new coin for DeepSeek. Interesting. BOK partnership. Yeah, I'm looking up some other news. We're covering it as it drops. Again, they had some earnings come out this morning. All right, so Japan, China, and South Korea are making arrangements to hold a meeting of their foreign ministers in Tokyo as early as March 22nd, according to sources. See if they speak on geopolitical things related to us. I don't know. I think DeepSeek is overall pretty good for the AI market. I don't think it's going to be bad, like a lot of people think it's going to be. Maybe it'll require less chips, and that might have some negative impacts on NVIDIA, but I think the long-term net effect is going to be positive for AI. All right, guys, so here's gold, here's NVIDIA, here's the Q. sitting around waiting here. We'll see if we get anything good. Again, PPI data drops in less than an hour. We got almost 1,000 here already. We got about 45 minutes. We also have jobless claims, unemployment dropping. Your thoughts about gold? I'm torn on gold. I really am. Like, I think gold is up a lot. Gold tends to uptrend for a decade, downtrend for a decade. Not always a decade even, but like uptrend for years, downtrend for years is the trend in gold. And sometimes gold will have a really long downtrend, like here. You know, gold downtrended from like 2011 all the way to 2019. And so sometimes gold will downtrend for an extended period of time. A lot of people are going to consider the downtrend ending here because this starts an uptrend that we've seen. So we've basically been uptrending for 10 years on gold. Downtrend here down to 2016, uptrend since. But with that said, like in that context here, gold has uptrended since 2016. So gold has uptrended for 9 years at this point in time. And so just in terms of extension, I think gold's a little high right now. For me to be interested in buying it up. I would much rather DCA on weakness than buy up super strength in gold over a decade. At the same time, I think you could also argue the other side of it, in which we have macroeconomic and geopolitical uncertainty, inflation worries, which tends to make gold go up. And so I think it's very easy to argue the other side as well. So essentially, I'm at a I don't know space with gold. I really don't know. Like, I'm okay. If I buy gold, I gotta buy an equal effect of stocks, you know. But again, I really don't know. Do you consider options as a way of gambling, or is there a strategy? I mean, there's ways to make money in options. I'm just not really an options guy. And so I'm not really one that trades options. I usually just prefer to buy shares or futures. Options can be beneficial. You know, I think options are also kind of meant for people that don't like to save buying power. You know, so like if you have enough buying power, you can buy shares directly, have no restrictions on how long you hold it, have no time decay, not really worry about too much fluctuations and things like the Greeks, like you have to worry about in options if you have enough buying power. If you want to save buying power, maybe you don't have that much, that's where you could buy options and get cheaper deals and more bang for your buck in that regard. But they also come at, there's cons to that as well. You know, you're gonna have time decay, you're gonna have very stringent conditions that you need to be present to be able to profit on that option contract, and so it's not gonna be as free as buying shares directly, which is what I prefer over options. Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of options. I think if you have enough money, it's not worth it to buy options. You'd rather just buy shares. But I know options has a huge market, and you know, that's how it goes. All right, guys. Thank you for your response to my question. Very knowledgeable gentleman. Hey, thanks so much, man. Appreciate the kind words, sir. Yeah, it depends on what your definition of a gamble is. Unemployment and job numbers are always lagging 2 quarters. Well, PPI is leading in that regard. So, PPI leads inflation, and that's why it's important today. There are earnings coming out, and I want to get access as fast as possible. How can I do this? I don't know. There's a lot of different sources for that. Why is his head so big in the thumbnail? I'm just trying to make it parallel with how smart I am, Hey, please stop spamming 80 Franco. Again, you're gonna get banned if you do it again. Yeah, options can be good if you have like a small account. Look at gold though, pumping up. Nvidia, looking at an hourly chart on Nvidia, it's still down pretty big after the DeepSeek news. Here's where the DeepSeek news showed up. Still down from this news. Here's where Nvidia is now. So it rebounded at least 50% back, which is good. The NASDAQ, kind of similar thing here. If we put a 4-hour chart, the NASDAQ's kind of stagnated, although we are close to all-time highs in the NASDAQ. So all-time highs are at 540 basically. NASDAQ's at roughly 530. Yeah, all good, AD. I think Nvidia will fill the gap before 226. Yeah, earnings on 226, the biggest event in the market. Really, the biggest event. Earnings, Nvidia earnings on the 26th is the biggest market event this year so far, I think. It's going to be the biggest thing this year, is Nvidia earnings. 26th. Yeah, we don't know what higher PPI prices are going to do. I think the market's going to fear inflation, so higher PPI might make the market drop, but I really don't know. We'll have to just speculate to see. All right, guys. So yeah, we're hanging out. Yeah, I'm not sure. PP. Research it, brother. Market shook off. Yeah, market rebounded all the way back. So you can kind of see where inflation data came out yesterday here. And the market had a very nice V-shaped recovery from this. Like, look, so here's where inflation data showed up, was right here. And then look at the market did. Market dumped and then rebounded all the way back up. Actually had a green day yesterday too. I mean, we'll cover it, but we're going to focus on Nvidia on that day. What's your guess today on PPI, man? You were good yesterday. You were on it yesterday. What are your thoughts today? PPI, I'm less, for whatever reason, I'm less accurate with PPI. Again, my guess is PPI is going to show up at either 0.3 or 0.4%. I think 0.4% makes sense, but it might be as expected at 0.3%. I really don't know, though. PPI is a little bit different of an animal in that way. And again, just to kind of look at it, PPI is important for a number of different reasons. It impacts gold. It measures the average change in prices received by domestic producers for their output over time. And so again, PPI is the change in prices from domestic producers over time. It provides insight into inflation at a wholesale level and can influence lots of assets, gold, stocks, markets. PPI is often viewed as a leading indicator of inflation. If producers are charging more for goods, their costs may eventually pass on to the consumer. And so in that regard, PPI is important today. It leads to higher overall inflation. Gold can hedge against this. When inflation expectations rise, gold can benefit. And one of the reasons you saw gold go up yesterday after higher than expected CPI is because of that correlation here. Here's gold. Look at the big move up from gold right here. So gold went up. We could watch for a similar thing today. Rising PPI can weaken the dollar if markets think inflation is going to get worse. When PPI rises, it indicates higher costs for businesses. Companies sometimes are going to be affected by that because they're paying more now. Their profit margins may go down, leading to stock prices dropping. In some sectors, industrial and manufacturing sectors rely heavily on raw materials and can face pressure from higher PPI. It can influence monetary policy. High PPI can make the Fed more hawkish. It can make bond yields increase. There's a lot of different things that can happen. CPI is much more impactful, Chuck, for sure. Sort of like housing is starting to come back as people are realizing 6 to 7% interest rates aren't that high. Yeah, for sure. If you buy far out, you're good, right? I don't know. I'm not going to claim anything. I don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen. There's always variance. Nothing's 100% definitive in markets. With that said, though, generally gold long-term is going to go up. I can't guarantee it will, but in general, looking at a century of historical data, generally gold's going to go up long term. Again, it doesn't mean it will. Generally, it does. Kind of like the NASDAQ will give you 10% a year, or 10%, yeah, roughly 10% a year on average. I didn't start saving for my retirement until I was 28, and about to turn 34, I invest 50% into a company stock in the S&P. Will I be able to make up time for starting late? I mean, it depends on how you look at it, Jay. You know, it's better to start late than never. You know, in over a 10 or 20 year period, you're going to make plenty of money to retire. If you're retiring at 54 and you started investing at 30, you know, it's 24 years of investing. 26 if you started at 28. That should be plenty of time to make nice returns and have enough money set away for retirement. But it also depends on what inflation looks like in 20 or 30 years. You know, so like inflation erodes everything. The goal of investing is to outperform inflation. But like, say you got $500,000 tucked away at retirement, and say we lose 2.5% a year with CPI being at 2.5% over what did you say? 26-year period. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. And so in 26 years, if we have an average of 2.5% inflation over time, 500K now is only going to be worth about 250. It's going to take away roughly 50% of that. And so this is why you have to invest. But if you invest, you should do okay. Like if we look at it, say you invest 50K right now and you gain about 10% a year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. You should have about 600K in 26 years if you invest 50K today. On average, roughly, can't guarantee anything. But with compounding, you know, which would equal, in this context, about 250,000 in buying power. Right? Based off of the math we just did, it would equal about 250K in buying power. So you'd have a little nest egg regardless. If you invest more than 50K, it'll be more than that, you know. But this is just averages. These are just averages, you know. It's all generalized. We can't guarantee anything. All right, guys, we got 30 minutes left. 30 minutes left. We got well over 1,000 people here. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Yeah, I think we might correct this year or next year. I've been saying this for months. I haven't been buying up anything. I think we might correct this year or next year. I'm just not interested in buying up. We're too high. Look at gold dip. Look at gold dip. I don't know if this is the 8 a.m. scrum or what causing gold to fall down. I'm sorry, guys. It's too much. I am from Louisiana. Any thoughts on crypto? Yeah, I mean, I think crypto is going to consolidate for a period of time in the 90s. I've been saying this for months too, and I've been right so far. It's consolidating in the 90s. I think that's reasonable to expect. Maybe it might move up later, but still. Yeah, Tyler, you'll probably be all right, bro. It just depends, man. If you could save up just 100K and stick it in the market, you'll be good for retirement, most likely. And so yeah, if you could save up 100K, you should be good. With no Southern accent, I mean, number one, I've been streaming for years. The Southern accent that I used to have. If you watch my old streams, like listen, if you watch my really old streams, you'll hear it. I've been streaming now for years. And so, yeah, I mean, over time, my accent erodes. I'm also from, I'm from about an hour away from New Orleans. And so if I do have an accent, it is, like, I used to have a deeper country accent. But if I do have an accent now, it's kind of gone away. Or if I did have an accent, it's kind of gone away some. I'll try to find my old videos and show you guys. Alright. Yeah, so here's some of my old videos, chat. Yeah, I'm gonna pause the music for a second so you guys can hear old John. Sorry guys for the loud noise. Alright, let's hear old John.
What's up guys? So before this live trade video, I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone who's been showing their support so far. We really appreciate it, and if you want to do your most to help support this channel, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. It really does a lot. Thanks guys. What's up guys? Okay, so today was a pretty quick day in the market for me. I only entered one.
I don't know, the best I could describe this is kind of like a customer service voice almost. Let me find a better one. Hold on, let me find one. These are old, dude. Let's see what we got. Let's go really far back. I think I'd already been streaming for a period of time when I made these. Let's see. There we go. Here's some old ones. Let's try this one.
$802, and my entry is $797. It's right now hovering at $797. I got a stop loss at $802, and so I'm hoping it doesn't break that $8 mark and it gets stuffed back down. We'll see what happens.
You can probably hear the Louisiana in it. For people from Louisiana, might be able to hear it. Man, I was trading on a platform called Sure Trader when I made this video.
797, 796, 795.
All right, look at gold fall down. I don't know what gold's doing. It's down to 2940s. Man, I just didn't say anything in these old videos. I think that's the biggest mistake people on YouTube make, dude, when they make content.
For a $53 gain. Anyways, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear the country accent a lot more than I have now. But yeah. Is my accent stronger now? I mean, I've been living in Texas for a while now. Maybe that's what it is. Who knows? Alright. Palantir. Isn't Palantir down slightly right now? Yeah, Supermicro. Yeah, Supermicro Semiconductors is strange. Them not reporting their earnings. Them delaying their earnings is kind of... Yeah, I mean, a Louisiana accent's going to be a lot different than some people realize. Again, like, I'm from an hour away from New Orleans, and so it's kind of like a different... It's a different accent. It's hard to explain what it is. It's kind of like a Cajun accent mixed with like a city accent. And so it's just different. I can't do a British accent. I'm not from England. When PPI is high, does it mean the stock market won't do well? I mean, it might make the stock market panic because of inflation fears. That's certainly possible. I'm not saying it's likely, but it's possible. It's going to be hard to predict what the numbers show up as. So we'll see. And I think over time, if I did have an accent, it kind of goes away running a stream like this. I think when I have to talk to the world like this, you know, I think sometimes country accents can be discriminated against, especially in finance. And so over time, my accent probably just disappeared. Hey, what's up, Tiny? I don't think they'll cut rates anytime soon. Yeah, I mean, I think the percentages changed yesterday. They're 97.5 to 2.5 right now, so they didn't go up to 99.1. They actually came back down. These originally had gone up to like 99.5 to 0.5, but it looks like these have come back down some now. Now this is at 2.5 and 97.5. Likely, we're still pretty likely that we're gonna pause rates. We're not gonna cut. And we asked people, does inflation come in higher than expected, similar to CPI today? 76% say yes, so 3/4. Yeah, for sure, Tiny. I'm kind of worried today. Yeah, we'll see what the market does on inflation data. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know if it means bullish for crypto. I think less people can afford crypto with higher inflation. So I'm not sure, to be honest. We'll have to wait and see. I'm really not sure. But we expect the market if data remains the same. What do you mean? Yeah, it depends on who I talk to as well, Steven. So like if I talk to people from Louisiana, my accent comes back. But if I talk to everybody, it, you know. Yeah, I know a lot of people from Denham Springs. Point is, my accent used to be much worse. It's kind of... Which movement is bad for crypto, higher or lower inflation? Crypto is a little bit harder to gauge. I mean, we could look at Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin follows the rest of the market. Like inflation data came in high. Market went down yesterday. Yeah, so market did exactly what the rest of the markets did, which is drop a lot on worse inflationary data and then rebound back up afterwards. So... But I have no idea. Yeah, we got 20 minutes, 21 minutes. We got about 18 minutes left, actually. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're not delayed here. All right, chat. Again, you guys ready for inflation data? You guys ready? We got over 1,200 here. Investors, get ready. It's PPI day. January PPI hits the tape, and you better believe the market is bracing for it. PPI is the first glimpse into wholesale inflation this year, and it's coming just one day after the hotter than expected CPI report yesterday. If PPI mirrors CPI's hotness, it could rattle markets by renewing concerns that inflation is stickier than the Fed was hoping for. That means higher rates for longer, more pressure on growth stocks, and potentially another wild day for Treasury yields. On the other hand, cooler PPI might serve as a much-needed breaker for riskier assets. With inflation still in everybody's head, traders are already positioning for potential moves in gold, tech, and the dollar. Futures are steady, but the moment that drops, expect sharp moves across the board, regardless of what you're looking at. It's a big report day. It's something you want to tune in for. Yeah, I'm not gonna try. Rosh, I'm good, dude. Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm not gonna fall for that, dude. I'm okay. You know. Why was there a dip overnight? There's a dip yesterday from inflation data, CPI coming in hotter than expected. So inflation data was higher than expected. NASDAQ pre-market seems to be shaping up for a dip. Maybe. It depends on what inflation shows. If inflation shows, maybe. If inflation comes in high, again, it's expected at 0.3%. We don't know what we're going to get today, but it's expected at 0.3%. Bullish for quarter two. Again, high or low, guys. Put hot or cool in chat. Hot signals high PPI. Cool signals low PPI. Hot or cool. What do you guys think? You can also vote on the poll. 76% thinks yes, PPI comes in hot, just like CPI did. Again, Bitcoin down to 96K. So it looks like most people think it comes in hot, 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 cool, hot, hot, flat, hot, hot, hotness, tepid. Yeah, it looks like most people. I mean, I guess I could see a shock in markets too, but I really don't know. Yeah, I really don't know if we're going to get good or bad data today. I really don't. Again, we only have 15 minutes left until this report releases here. So 15 minutes left. We're going to put the NASDAQ up on the charts. There's the NASDAQ 100. Yeah, I don't know, Serge. No idea, bro. All right, chat. So like the baggy pants style of the 90s has basically come all the way back around after we see Kendrick. So like Jinkos are in style right now. Like, dude, you know you're getting old when you see a full rotation of style, right? In the 90s, Free Dress Friday, I got to wear baggy pants. The baggier, the cooler they were. I had an alien on my Jinkos. They were the coolest. I had a wallet chain, okay? I had a wallet chain. Puffy jackets were cool. You know what I mean? And is that not the style now? Like, it's done a complete cyclical, you know, revolution all the way back. Baggy pants, wallet chains are cool. Airwalks are going to come back. Man, I mean, shorts are wildly different, but even the shorts are kind of coming back too. It's kind of crazy. Bell bottoms in style. Inflation, Richard. Jinkos used to be 50, now they're 200. I haven't bought a pair of Jinkos in fact, I've never bought a pair. My parents bought me a pair in the 90s. Oh, let me open up Discord. All right, guys, we got 1,500 viewers right now. Sorry, Pawn, I didn't even open it. Yeah, and guys, if you haven't already checked out Top Step, I'll put the link up. Top Step gives you a demo. They test your skill with it. If you want to learn to day trade, do not risk your own money. Almost all day traders lose. It doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow, who your mentor is. You're probably going to lose your first couple day trading accounts, at least if you're not careful. It makes no sense doing that, trying to look cool in markets. Instead, limit your risk, hedge your risk with a funded account program challenge. Instead of risking thousands of dollars trying to look cool, you can risk $49 for the base package on Top Step. They're going to give you a 50K demo. In the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stock patterns, and it's very similar to day trading stocks. No PDT restrictions. Or if you use TopStepX, there's zero commission. Again, they give you a 50K demo. If you can make 3K in profit on that demo without losing 2K first, following their rules and conditions, they fund you 50K with a 90% split. You also get to keep your first 10K in profit. That's pretty similar to funding your own account. But if you fail, you're out 49 bucks. It's the best of both worlds, limited risk, similar reward to funding your own account. Beautiful pressure test of your trading. You have some pressure, but you're not risking thousands and losing thousands like a lot of traders do. It just makes sense, guys. It just makes sense. No PDT rule. TopStep is the most legit in the world. They paid out almost $200 million since 2020. They fund thousands of traders. They've been around for almost 12 years, over 12 years, I think. And again, you can use micro contracts and trade small with zero commission on TopStepX. It just makes so much sense. It helps your trade. It teaches you how to follow rules. Although, again, they're an affiliate of mine. I am biased because I get paid by them. So I'm biased. You want to confirm it all with them. I can't guarantee anything, guys. I'm not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose. But if you want to check them out, here's the link. Understand CFTC 4.41. There's the link in chat if you want to check them out. Great way to help support the channel. Yeah, TopSteps is just a great way to learn. And again, link is in chat. Link is also in the description if you want to check them out. Yeah, I mean, listen. If you were going to pay for a real-time data demo account in futures, it's going to cost about the same as the TopStep based combine. So the value is there. People trying to act like value isn't there, you know, it doesn't make sense. Even if you try the TopStep challenge and fail it, they give you a free practice account afterwards anyway. And so the value's obviously there. You know, most day traders lose. It doesn't matter where they go, including here. Most day traders are just going to lose regardless of where they trade. It's a lot cheaper to lose here than it is to fund 10, 20, 30 grand and lose that. And that's what a lot of traders end up doing. I know that's what I did. I lost thousands of dollars when I first tried to learn. I wish I had something like this. I genuinely do, because it just makes sense. But everybody's, you know, different. AMC about to squeeze. PPI is the producer price index. It's wholesale inflation data. Very relevant, very important, very relevant. PPI inflation data, guys. PPI coming out. Very, very relevant right now. Very, very relevant. We'll see what you get. What we get. What do you guys think, guys? Do you guys think we're gonna come in higher or lower than expected here? Chat. Hey guys, we're only about 87 subscribers away from 156,000 subscribers. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the notification bell. We only need less than 100 of you guys to break a big level for the channel. Market's very flat leading into PPI report. I'm wondering if there's some like edge and just attacking choppiness leading into this report. We got 9 minutes left. Chat, 9 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be, again, I'm going to go with basic logic and think that PPI comes in slightly worse. At the same time, though, that's almost too easy of a prediction. And remember, guys, like, I might be accurate with CPI. I haven't really tried PPI predictions very much, and PPI is a little bit different. It's harder to predict. There's more variance, I would say. And so don't put too much weight on anything I say here, because I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. PPI could be wildly higher, wildly lower, could shock markets and come in low. Who knows? All right, you guys ready? We got almost 2,000 here watching. I mean, PPI is pretty big. It's inflation data. Again, we're mostly economics here, guys. So we're going to cover economic data. Like, that's what we do here. That's why we get thousands of people tuning in so they can watch economic data. Now, you might day trade and not pay attention to economic data and do your thing or trade crypto or whatever, and that's fine. Don't watch it then. But we're watching economic data here. We also have jobless claims unemployment dropping at a very similar time. Jobless claims unemployment, very relevant today as well in a market that fears inflation and wants rate cuts. Market wants rate cuts. Very important data today based off of that. No, I don't, Kevin. Not right now. Yeah, y'all hit the subscribe button. Don't be greedy. Definitely top 3 most biased ever. Yeah, Robinhood had earnings today. Did they do good? Or wait, aren't Robinhood's earnings this evening? Man, Robinhood's that big. It must have been today. Or was it yesterday? How did Robinhood do? Let's see. Robinhood posted fourth quarter revenue of $1 billion, 1.01 billion. Fourth quarter net revenue $916 million. GAAP EPS 101, beat the 42-cent estimates. Robinhood did great for their earnings. I'll put these numbers up in chat if you want to check them out. But Robinhood did good. It's up big. Yeah, looks pretty good. There's Robinhood's numbers. We got more than 32 likes. Mark, you probably just got to reset this. If you refresh the stream, you'll see it. More cowbell. Okay, there you go. Crocs. Yeah, Crocs up to 104s. I don't like Crocs as much as a company though. I think they're up big and justifiably so over the past few years, but that this is a very trendy thing and trends change. So I'm just not as trusting in Crocs as a company versus a lot of other stuff because trends change. And I think for the next 5 years, they'll probably be fine. But after that, there's risks to it. Very similar to like Lululemon. I'm just not a big interested investor in Lululemon. Same reason. Very, very trendy. Trends change and styles change specifically. What happens with younger generations is that they don't want to use their parents' stuff. And so they end up gravitating towards new things, new shoes, new clothing, new brands. And thus, it's too trendy for me to want to invest in long term at least. Hey, thank you, Mark. I appreciate the love, though. Thanks so much, brother. Yeah, Crocs may be a legacy company now. We'll see. Yeah, Palantir, man, doing crazy numbers, too. Jinkos. Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, we got 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left. A little bit over 4 minutes, actually. This timer's early, but hit the live button next to the play button. Get ready here, chat. 4 minutes. Elf? I invested what I know, what I don't know makeup. Top 3 best makeup connoisseur in the world right now, but top 3 worst makeup expert ever. I have no idea about makeup. I'm not going to invest in Elf because of that. I just don't know. I'm using a bunch of different things. Bro, people act like I've got some super secret sources. And you can tell they're just like other YouTubers trying to stream the same stuff as me. Like, dude, everybody can find these sources. All right, guys. Hey, PPI inflation data expected at 0.3%. Year over year, expected at 3.3% for core PPI. Regular PPI year over year is expected at 3.2%. I'm going to go with 3.3% year over year and 0.4% month to month for inflation data PPI. We'll see what happens, though. Again, I don't know. I'm just speculating, and this is a little bit more variance heavy than CPI, I would say. Like, I'm accurate with CPI. I'm accurate with CPI. I'm not very accurate with PPI. Top 3 worst ever, for sure, Jacob. Definitely worst ever. All right, guys. Hey, we got 3 minutes. Again, if you want to catch this on time, hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. I appreciate it. My goal on YouTube is to be the most obnoxious person ever. Part of it's an act. I'm just kind of trolling you guys like a trading brat is kind of the point of the channel. I'm the greatest at everything. And, yeah, that's what it is. Coin flip, yeah. You're giving market maker vibes. See, I'm not young enough to use you're giving. Like, I can't be like you're giving pick me vibes. I can't non-ironically say that as somebody in my 30s. I just can't do it. Like, you know, I just can't do it. Like, when I was young, we used to say fresh. Like, that's, we used to say tight. That's a tight truck over there, bro. That's a tight outfit you got on, dude. You know, I don't know. And so I'm too old to be cool, guys. All right, guys, here we go. Again, less than 2 minutes here. Less than 2 minutes. Look at the 200 exponential rejection right now. Here's the 200 exponential rejection coming through. Will PPI come in tight today? Guys, let me know right now if you think it will put tight in the chat. Will PPI come in tight today? It's expected at 0.3% month over month. Year over year is expected at 3.2%. Core PPI month over month expected at 0.3% as well. Again, my guess is 0.4, but I'm straight up guessing. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't think I have any statistical edge guessing either. At least with PPI, maybe with CPI. But all right, guys, less than a minute. We got 1 minute left. 1 minute left. This timer's a little bit early, so we're gonna just pause this timer. Less than 1 minute. We got Bitcoin, Nvidia. I'm gonna put gold up. In fact, I'm just gonna put gold and Nvidia up on these charts for the data release. There's Bitcoin. Here's gold. 20 seconds, chat. 20 seconds. PPI expected. Jobless claims also today expected at 216 to 217. Again, 216 to 217 for jobless claims numbers here, guys. We'll see what they show. You guys ready? Ten seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and all right, the numbers are out. PPI showed up at 0.4% month over month, guys. 0.4% month over month. 3.5% year over year. 0.4% month to month. 0.5%, 3.5% year over year. Jobless claims showed up lower than expected. Showed up at 213 versus 217 expected. I don't know how I do it, guys. I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should start betting on this, to be honest. 0.4% higher than expected inflationary data. 0.4% versus 0.3% month over month for PPI data. Jobless claims showed up at 213 versus 217 expected. Continuing claims showed up at 1.85 million versus 1.88 million expected. Core PPI showed up at, as expected, month over month at 0.3%, 3.6% on the year. Higher than expected inflationary data. People are asking, is this bullish? Not really. This is higher inflation, worse inflation prices on a wholesale level than expected. Again, 0.4% month over month is exactly what I said it would be. I don't know how I'm doing this, but hey, y'all would never hear the end of it. I'm going to brag about this forever. Okay. 0.4% as expected. Or no, higher than expected. 0.1% higher than the 0.3% expected. 0.4% higher than expected PPI. Jobless claims 213 versus 217. I'll put this up on screen here. Yeah. 0.4% higher than expected. They expected 3 or 0.3. Showed up at 0.4%. Jobless claims showed up at 213, lower than expected, signaling less people filing for unemployment. Look, here's PPI right here on screen. I'll make it big so you guys can see it, but higher than expected, worse than expected. A lot of people would, a lot of people would say this is worse. Yeah, I saw it spike. What's really strange, guys, is that we spiked right before the data came out. So the data came out. This spike happened about 5 to 10 seconds before the data came out. So somebody had the data early and took trades based off of it, like really early. Maybe not, because the market's down some. Yeah, I mean, the market's definitely down some from this report. I don't know why it spiked up like that. But if you shorted that, I mean, I think that's probably a pretty good short afterwards. I'm not telling you to short it now. I don't know. 2 days in a row, I trust your predictions. 2 days I come away a big winner. Thank you, sir. Again, hey, my guy, JM, thanks so much, dude. I got it right again. Maybe I should start betting on PPI, you know. I said 0.4% month over month, and that's what we did. Yeah, I mean, this is not, I wouldn't say this is good. I think this is bad. But who knows, man? The market is a different animal sometimes. Yeah, this market's a different animal sometimes. Again, if you want somebody that drops all the economic reports, hit the like button next to the play button. Hit the subscribe button, chat, if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button. Ten-year spike. Yeah, 10-year is going to follow interest rates, and so the 10-year spiking signals higher interest rate potential moving forward by the Fed. Yeah, you don't ever know how the market's going to react. You really don't. This is kind of a weird reaction too. Market's going up big and down big, and then back up here some. Honestly, I might short this, to be completely honest here. Let's try. I'm going to get the micro NASDAQ out, because this is worse than expected inflation data. So I'm going to take one contract here, short, and I'm going to leave it alone. And if I lose, I lose. I think it's justifiable. All right, we're going to add to this. 2 contracts now. I'm going to take half off, just lock it in. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and cut it and maybe wait for another trade. Made a little bit. I think shorting that made sense too. We'll see if we add some more to it. Yeah, I mean, Vecna, this is why you don't tell people what to do. Because nobody freaking knows. Right? And I always say this again, nothing's definitive here, guys. Nothing's definitive. Market might go up, down, or sideways. Pressuring people not to take a trade or to take a trade is the worst thing, because nobody knows if it's going to go in your favor or not. Also, like, y'all don't know how I trade. Like, I'm very short term, so I'm just kind of scalping these moves. It's all love, Vecna. Like, I appreciate you being here and participating, but I take really short term trades, and some of the trades that I do the best in are trades where people are yelling at me not to take, and so it's important. Nothing's definitive, you know. Also, guys, again, if you want to check it out, you see how similar this is to day trading stocks. Check out TopStep. TopStep gives you a demo. Test your skill with it. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. In this case, the base one's $49. They give you a 50K demo. It tests your skill. It comes with real-time data, and if you fail it, you get a practice account anyway, which if you're going to pay for a real-time data practice account in futures, it's going to cost about the same, $49. Also, there's no PDT rule on futures. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. They're going to give you a 50K demo on TopStep. If you can make 3K in profit without losing 2K first, following their rules and conditions, they fund you 50K with a 90% split, and they've paid out almost $200 million since 2020. They fund thousands of traders. It's a great way to learn how to day trade, and most day traders lose regardless of where they go, including here. Most day traders just lose. And so this is a great way to hedge your risk. It's cheaper generally than funding your own account and losing that. But again, I'm biased because I get paid by them. So if you want to check them out, I'll put the link up. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. There's the link if you want to check it out. Let me get the disclaimer out the chart. And so again, I don't know if I should be bearish or bullish here. The data came out worse for sure. And I did already have a successful short. But market's also pushing up a little bit here. But I think we're going to reject before we get up here. But I might be wildly wrong. Don't copy me. It's higher inflation, James. Whatever that means, higher inflation. Good, bad, higher inflation is what this data means. So, I really don't know. I love you. You doing all right? Nice glasses. I love you. Have a good day. Send your brother in here too if you can. I love you. Hey, dude. How you doing, man? Love you. Love you, buddy. Have a good day, dude. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day, okay? Love y'all. All right. Yeah, I know I say it too much, but I don't ever want to say it too little to my kids, you know. Anyways, market's holding right there at 873. We'll see if we can draw some support and resistance lines back up here. Yeah, I know about Big Bear AI. Yeah, it depends on what the goal is for the account straight, but generally, yes. All right, so look at this push up. Again, I'm going to short up here again. It's kind of a risky thing to short, but I'm going to try. We're slightly green. We'll add some too if it goes in my favor here. Took half off. I don't like that volatility. We're going to cut that. Another little green trade, small little baby trade. You can see how similar this is to day trading stocks. I am breaking my rules, but I think the reason I'm shorting is because I think in terms of probabilities there's a little bit of an edge here, but I might be wrong. I don't freaking know, guys. What did Bitcoin do on this report here, chat? And that's what I'm saying. Like, listen, guys, listen. You can follow somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about, or you can follow somebody that does. All right. Yesterday we said PPI would come in at 3%. It showed up at 3%. Today we said PPI would show up at 0.4%. It showed up at 0.4%. Now I want to clarify, these are straight up guesses here. But what's important to understand is that you can read whether it's going to be higher or lower than expected based off of economic conditions, sentiment, and stuff like that. It is somewhat easy to read. Now, I don't think you should ever base trades off of this, but if you want to gauge the economy, you can, and to a certain extent. There's obviously variance, but you got a lot of people streaming right now that don't even understand what rates mean. They're just kind of jumping on the bandwagon of economic reports that, me and a couple other people started on YouTube. And so again, understand, most day traders lose. Understand the economics. If you want to understand economics, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate the love. Top 3 worst economists in the world right now. But yeah. Bitcoin barely moved. Yeah, I'm looking at Bitcoin. It really didn't react at all. Nvidia's up on this report. Look at that support level hold too here, guys. Look at that support level hold. Yeah, I've slowed down buying a lot. I've slowed down buying a lot. Honestly, what I was looking back, I'm not trying to brag too much today, but I think sometimes you got to celebrate your wins. And haters are going to get big mad because they know. But I called this whole AI boom. I remember just arguing with people about it in chat. People were telling me AI was like a buzzword. It was nonsense. It wasn't going to be big. It wasn't going to make the market go up. I remember genuinely trying to tell people, hey, AI is the future of technology. This was 3 years ago. And since then, the AI boom has taken over the market. It has gone crazy. Look at the support level hold too, by the way. I'm just bragging a lot today. I'm sorry. Sometimes you just gotta let it out. But for sure, AI was gonna take over the world, and I saw it. And most people that understand the significance of things could see AI was gonna get crazy. Now the big question is, does AI correct? I think there's a lot of things that parallel the .com crash at this point in time, guys. I think there's a lot of things that parallel it. Extension, mania, almost in terms of buys. And I think it's plausible for the market to correct sometime this year. I'm not saying it will. It doesn't. It certainly doesn't have to. And long term, the edge is always on the upside most of the time, regardless of anything. But it's important to understand this, guys. It's important to understand it. What this inflation data means is a more hawkish Fed. It means higher interest rates for longer. It means the yields are probably going up on this report. If we look at the 10-year yields, I'm surprised gold's not rising more on this report as well, and I'm honestly kind of curious about buying a gold dip right now. I'm surprised yields are not going up on this report as well, because yields are going down, which means they think interest rates are going to be lower, which is strange because inflation data was hotter, signaling a need for a more hawkish Fed, not a more dovish Fed. So kind of nonsensical initial reaction here in bond yields, in gold, and in the market, I would say. But maybe the, hot CPI and PPI does signal a stronger economy. That's true. Gold is already around lifetime highs, so maybe there's some extension there. And I think maybe real estate market's going to start bouncing back, and that's something that we can speculate on as well. What do you guys think? Oh, yeah, for sure, Shah. 100%, brother. Let me catch back up on the chat. John, you're giving father vibes right now. That's tight, bro. That's tight, dude. Yeah, I don't know why the market didn't do what it said. Yeah, no, part of it, guys, is like I see other people try to stream this stuff, and like I said, some of them were calling everything a rate hike, right? Like, we haven't hiked rates in years, but they don't really understand. They think a rate hike is universal for every rate decision. They just kind of get a lot of it wrong. And they're out here trying to like teach people, and unfortunately, a lot of them just have no freaking idea what they're talking about. Some of them do. A lot of people on YouTube do know what they're talking about, but some of them just have genuinely no idea, and they're just kind of piggybacking off of what they see get views. But it's important for people at home to understand, like, be weary of that type of stuff. Like, understand like everything in terms of rates. Again, the Federal Reserve will influence interest rates depending on what they think the economy needs. If the economy is really hot and inflation's really bad because of said hot economy and labor market, they will be hawkish, restrictive. Restrictive means they want higher interest rates to push spending down, because when rates are higher, interest rates, we're talking about the short-term interest rates, the federal funds rate, but eventually it trickles into everything else. When people have less cheap access to loans and money, they tend to spend less, prices go down. If they have more cheap access to money from what's called a dovish Fed, which means they want interest rates to be low. Sometimes they'll even do something called quantitative easing, which is a form of money printing where they create bank reserves and then use those bank reserves to buy up bonds and other financial assets, injecting liquidity into those markets and helping interest rates stay low. They'll only do that if they think the economy is really weak. Like if 2020 they did QE, they brought interest rates down to almost zero. They did stimulus checks. The consequence of all this economic stimulus and the consequence of all this dovishness by the Fed, low interest rate environment, economic stimulus, money printing, the consequence was inflation. Inflation spiked up to almost 10% in 21 and 22. And then the Fed was switched to hawkish, which means restrictive, which means they raised rates a bunch, then they paused them for a long period of time, and then late last year they started to cut them back down a little bit, but we're still higher. Over the last 10 years, we're high in interest rates, but historical averages, we're about even. We're about normal. Using historical averages, we're at about 4.25% to 4.5% for short-term interest rates. Mortgages are a little bit under 7%. So historical averages, we're about average. All right, baby. All right. Huh? Okay. All right. Love you. Yeah. So again, we'll see what we're at. Right now, the Fed has been hawkish, especially after yesterday's massive inflation coming in hot. And again, I don't think PPI coming in high is good either. If we look at the Fed Watch tool, which shows kind of the probabilities of rate decisions by the Federal Reserve, this is still 97.5. I'm trying to see if this changed at all from this report. I don't think it did. Yeah, it's still 97.5% likely that we're going to pause rates again, which means that we're not going to change rates at all. It's kind of a neutral middle ground. And again, things like high inflation signal less of a need to cut rates. The only reason we should cut rates is if we see massive economic weakness, and high CPI signals inflation problems, which is the opposite of economic weakness. And again, right now we're starting to pull back. I'm a little short biased right now, guys. I'm not saying you should be, but yeah. And then tomorrow we have retail sales data. And I know the president's pushing for low rates, but again, I said this yesterday, the issue that I have, and again, I'm very neutral politically, I'm not against you guys, but complaining about high inflation and then wanting to push for rate cuts amidst all, amid all that stuff contradicts itself, right? Like, wanting low rates, but also complaining about high inflation, it contradicts itself. It just contradicts itself. Like, if there was no cost to a constant low interest rate environment, like a constant dovish Fed, if there was no cost to that, sure, cut rates, bring rates down, make things affordable. I'm for it. Give people cheaper access to money. I'm for it. But there is a cost, and the cost is inflation. And we've seen so much inflation spike over the past 5 years. That's why people are unhappy. People complaining about the economy, complaining about the bad state they're in. They're usually upset about inflation. And again, low interest rates going to make that worse, not better. And so it's important for that context to be digested by most of the public, because, you know, one thing I see a lot is people complaining about inflation, complaining about prices, but then pushing for rate cuts, like rate cuts are going to help inflation, which is the opposite. And so, again, there's a cost to the low interest rate environment, and the cost is that people tend to spend more because they have cheaper access to money, and in that regard, prices go up because businesses in turn raise prices from all the extra spending that's occurring. And so I hope all that makes sense. Jobless claims were lower than expected. They showed up at 213 versus 218 expected. So that means less people filing for unemployment. So that was a good sign for the labor market. High jobs, less unemployment is what the jobless claims numbers showed. Less than expected, at least. Again, 213 versus 215, 217 expected. I'm going to short this and then maybe add to it here and take some risks this morning, but I got to be very careful as well. All right, we're going to take half of that off and just lock the price in and see if we can ride the rest down some here. Take half off, a little bit in. We'll hold this longer. We're going to go ahead and get out there. So not a bad little trade here. We caught the rejection off of this resistance level. Look at that level hold. We have to draw some new levels coming up pretty soon. Retail sales data tomorrow, Fabio. I don't know how big it is, but it's a report tomorrow. Correct, Rupert. But the reason we get high inflation generally, I mean, there's a number of different reasons, Rupert, we get high inflation. But high inflation signals strength in the labor market a lot of the time. And so, you know, like last payroll was slightly lower, but the payroll report before that showed 256,000 non-farm payrolls, much higher than expected. Showed strength in the labor market. And I don't think it's a coincidence that, you know, a couple months later, we see inflation spiking now, CPI, PPI inflation, from said strength in the labor market. And so high inflation can be from a lot of different things. In 2020, it was also from supply chain restraints. And certainly high inflation can cause a recession and depression. Absolutely does if you keep it there. But it's a little bit more nuanced than that. I'm just trying to help people understand, like, you know, a lot of people are going to argue the inflation that we got post 2020 was from stimulus checks and quantitative easing. And that's absolutely true. They certainly contributed to high inflation, as well as, like, the big one is probably supply chain restraints from 2020. That made inflation worse, and we did see a rebound effect of it. But, you know, the easiest way to make people understand it is that low interest rates can contribute to high inflation as well, because it means more people spending. And more people spending can make businesses raise prices, you know. I'm not saying he doesn't know what he's talking about, AE. What I'm saying is that he's contradicting himself. But he's a politician. Like, that's how it goes, you know. Like, he's trying to say the best things he can that are going to get the most people supportive of him. I get it. Like, that's what politicians do. I can't really knock him for it. That's what every side does. So, you know, again, I'm not against you guys. I'm just saying If you complain about inflation and then say, hey, let's lower rates now, it contradicts itself. Again, Tesla at 347s. 347s. Yeah, is he really Dr. Crypto? Is tariffs coming out? Yeah, I might have been using the wrong word, Sam. Well, no, actually, so weary, W-E-A-R-Y, Sam. It's both an adjective, feeling or showing tiredness, or it's a verb, which is the context that I'm using it under, which is I'm feeling weary, you know. She was wearied by her persistent cough, you know, so forth and so on, right? Which is cause to become tired. So I'm actually using the correct word. Now, I think I know there's some differences in overseas. Like, I know there's some differences in overseas, so maybe there's one of the differences. I know, like, aluminium and aluminum, you know, I know there's a lot of differences in both pronunciation as well as, like, definition of different words. Like, in the US, in Australia, they call flip-flops thongs. Okay? In the US, it's a wildly different meaning. You know? So it's all love, dude. It's all good. Yeah, I like Top Step X. I really do. And look at this resistance level holding here. We're gonna have to draw some new lines here, though, I think. I think we got some confirmation support right there. I'm gonna have to put a 5-minute chart up, though, and start looking at longer term levels here too. All right, I like these levels. Maybe a little too condensed, but it's all good. Housing rent is the worst problem. If people could have comfortably have that, most would care about eggs becoming $5 to $10 and bananas being $1. Yeah, but it's a tricky thing, you know, because like housing is being affected on both sides, right? Like one of the things obviously affecting houses is mortgage prices being much higher than expected, or much higher than they have been relative to the last 10 years, right? Mortgage prices have been much higher. Now, another thing that's contributing to high prices is inflation, because when landlords have to pay more, they bump rent up. And so there's a lot of things contributing to high inflation, and it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario for this type of stuff, because both sides are contributing to higher rent prices. And so we could cut rates and do quantitative easing and inject liquidity and all that good stuff, and all that's good. It'll probably have some type of effect on real estate, of course, and pricing. It also could make inflation worse, which, you know, they're going to compensate for increased costs with landlords into rent by raising rent in a lot of places too. So it's a very nuanced thing with rent prices, and housing, especially like long-term mortgage rates, are much less susceptible to, you know, influence by Federal Reserve. And so it's harder. It's easier said than done. Hey, thank you for the $5 dono, Joe. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate the donation. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you. You fooled me once, you can't get fooled again, guys. Bush, man. Ugh. You know, it's hard to tell with Bush. If Bush was just kind of like, it's hard to tell. Some people play dumb to see people's intentions. it's hard to tell whether Bush was intentionally acting that way or whether he was actually that way, you know. And again, I'm not going to get too political. It's all good, you know. Again, I'm neutral. I don't know. But yeah. All right, so we're going to readjust this support level. There we go. For the housing market specifically, this means mortgage rates are unlikely to drop significantly anytime soon, which can keep both buyers and sellers on the sideline. Again, no economist. Yeah, I mean, mortgage rates have been dropping recently, but they're less susceptible to, again, rate decisions. So, you know, rate decisions primarily affect directly like home equity lines of credit, adjustable rate loans, stuff like that. Eventually it can trickle into mortgages and longer term mortgages as well, but it takes longer. There's much more lag effect of it. So Zachary, I don't want to do it, but I got to put you in timeout for at least a minute. Come on now. Let's not joke about that type of stuff, sir. Yeah, well, one of the things affecting commercial work, Shar says, I think we should help home prices if we let the bustling city fall off, embrace remote work, and start investing in building in the outskirts. I mean, we already kind of are letting remote work happen. One of the differences from 2020 to now is that remote work is much more prevalent now. Like, much more people work from home now, and it started then. Commercial real estate in that regard has been really, really, really struggling because of that, right? Like, commercial real estate has fallen off a cliff over the last 10 years, and that's one of the very specific reasons for it, is because businesses don't have to pack a warehouse full of hundreds of people anymore to get stuff done. Instead, they can let them work remotely from home, avoid paying rent, get better margins, you know, and in some ways it's going to be more productive as well and more enjoyable for the people. They don't have to get dressed. They don't have to do a lot of different stuff that they would, for the most part, going to work every day. And so that's one of the things that's certainly negatively impacting commercial real estate and real estate prices and commercial in general. But it's an interesting subject for sure. Tesla, what is Tesla doing? Tesla pumping up on this. They went up yesterday. Tesla went up a little bit after CPI too. I'm not sure. I guess maybe people think that higher prices is going to benefit Tesla. Yeah, I really don't know. I think it's interesting. Isn't it good for month-over-month PPI being as expected? It was higher than expected. Expected was 0.3. It should have been 0.4. All right, guys, we got 30 minutes here. 30 minutes. Again, PPI inflation data was hot. Yeah, I think Tesla, for me, I don't know what it's going to do short term. I think if it stays in front of FSD, full FSD is obviously the future moving forward. And so I think full FSD is the future. And if Tesla can stay on the front of that, they're going to be wildly successful. I think Elon's got to be careful about being outspoken politically. Again, I'm not really a political person, but I think there's risks to him being politically outspoken, and there's potentially rewards for it. I don't know. But I think looking at Tesla, FSD is their future well over like selling cars. FSD is the future, and I think it's going to snowball where I know within 20 years, most cars are going to be driving themselves. And if Tesla can stay on the front of that, they're going to do really, really well. But it depends as long as they don't get lost in the weeds, so to speak. Again, bond yield's still down. So are tariffs really being announced today at 1 o'clock? Some people said they were announcing tariffs at 1. Is that actually true? Chat? Look at my levels here, dude. I'm gonna move this one up a tad bit, like right here. But yeah. I mean, I was like a racer guy when I was young, man. I love tuner culture. I had a H22 VTEC Honda Prelude that I would soup up and race, and friend had a Type R, and another friend had a Cobra, and you know, another friend had a GSR, and we used to race those things like crazy and fix them up. I love motors. I love ICE internal combustion motors. But with if I'm being objective about it, you know, what was fast to me at the time was, like, I remember I used to really want a Subaru WRX STI because it ran a quarter mile in like high 12s stock. And at the time, that was obscenely fast, right? But at this point in time, it's not that fast. You know, at this point in time, you know, a stock Tesla will smoke that thing. Most electric vehicles can do under 11 seconds quarter mile stock. And so as much as I like internal combustion engines and you know, racing, I can't avoid like, if I'm being objective, the future is electric in terms of racing. Now, I don't know how long that's going to take, but you know, in terms of efficiency with regards to not environmental efficiency, I always get arguments there. Like, obviously, it's kind of like a break-even effect environmentally, in my opinion. You know, lithium's very environmentally taxing to mine, but the emissions are less once you have the cars produced. And so it's about a break-even effect there, in my opinion. But in terms of vehicle efficiency, electric vehicles mesh better with technology. They're faster. The mileage is going to be generally better, at least into the future, where that's something that we're going to see. And so I think that's the future, as well as like the fact that cars are going to be driving themselves within 20, 30 years. And again, I think big oil certainly runs the world, and they're gonna act like being anti-big oil is being anti the little guy, and they're gonna get a lot of people wrapped up in that argument, and I get it, and maybe that's true to a certain extent. I don't know, but yeah, efficiency usually leads the way. You know, necessity is the mother of invention, and if they want more efficient vehicles, that's what they're going to gravitate to. I believe that as well. I believe racers and drag racers feel threatened by EV. 100% agree. But again, regardless of what they want the truth to be, I think EVs are more efficient. Yeah, I don't know whether to short. I think logically it makes sense to short this pop, but I'm not telling you what to do. I genuinely have no idea what you should do here. I think it's a little bit harder to figure out, to be honest. We don't have anything at 10, right? Nope, we don't. 30-year bond auction is at 1 as well. Maybe that'll move things. Hey guys, listen, we need oh, we broke 156K. Thanks so much. Appreciate the love, guys. Nice. Oh, I forgot my news today, guys. I forgot my news. Also, guys, if you haven't already, join our Discord. It's completely free. Doesn't cost anything. Here's our Discord link right here. Again, completely free. Doesn't cost anything. Great way to, hang out with us after the stream ends. If you want to check out the Discord, there's the link. Very, very Blade. Where's the Jinkos and wallet chain? Let me pull that out right now. AI is dumb sometimes. All right, guys. So again, here, chat. Again, PPI rose by 0.4% in January over the 0.3% expected. This uptick suggests persistent inflationary pressures in the economy. Jobless claims declined, so less people filing for unemployment week to week. Came in at 213 versus 220 in the previous week. Cisco systems are up 6.4% after better than expected earnings and raised outlook. AppLovin up 30%, strong fourth quarter results. Robinhood up 14% after big profit forecasts. Reddit fell 8% due to lower than expected user growth despite strong earnings. And John Deere dropped over 5% following substantial decline in sales and earnings. And so again, guys, here we go. Here's this report. Again, join me on Twitter if you haven't already. Again, as we always do. All right, so we got the biggest news in finance here as well on X. Again, if you want to give me a follow on X, here is that link. Every single morning we break down the biggest news stories in finance in a one consolidated X post. If you want to check it out, give me a follow on X. There is the link. A great way to help support the channel. I'm down 300. I thought gold will go up. Is there any reason why it's not going up? Well, I think it's a little bit early. Sometimes we get a delayed reaction to it. And again, nobody really knows. Gold is already around lifetime highs. And so I think in terms of extension, there's probably a factor there with it. And outside of that, I'm not sure. Yeah, Coinbase has earnings this evening. Look at these levels holding here. We're going to keep following them. We got a cushion on the day here. Yeah, we're up nicely. That's cool. Yeah, so I guess I'm bearish here, guys. Just based off of the inflation data, gold coming in high, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything has to happen. So just be careful. Yeah, look at Tesla dipping down some here too. It's hard to gauge these pops, to be honest. Kind of shows you the nonsensical aspect of some of this stuff too. I mean, we're green on the day on this account. I don't know if it's going to hold. I hope it does, of course. But yields are down too, which is, again, another strange reaction. Gold is slightly down, but kind of flat on this now. Sentai waiting. All right, so we're consolidating down. Let's see if yields and everything starts to spike. It's hard to tell. Put a 1 minute chart up here. In my other account, I'll show you a trade that I'm currently in. We're gonna unlock a little bit more in there too. We're about 150 on this account on the day. I'm gonna go in and get out there too. So we're about 150 on this account, but I'm gonna switch back to the other account. Net on the day, we are up about 200 so far in pre-market. Again, I don't usually trade in pre-market, but I thought there was some edge in these levels that I've built. I've seen the market kind of following these. So I've just tried to attack the levels that I've built, and so far that's doing okay. Yeah, tariffs coming out news. I think that might make markets drag down too. Although I really don't know. Another reason the market's up today, guys, is Nvidia is pushing up towards highs of the day again. It's almost up to 132s here. So yeah, we don't know what the market's gonna do, Tom. Nothing's definitive. You know what I mean? Like, I always try to tell people the same thing. Like, nobody knows, guys. Nobody knows. I tend to be bearish up here as well because I think the market overreacted on the upside to this economic reports, but I don't freaking know, and nobody does either, and we can only guess. And I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. You always got to make your own assessment. Trade smart and responsibly, guys, because I definitely don't know what's going to happen. All we can do is guess, and it looks like the short thesis was correct. But regardless of whether it's right or wrong, let's not pressure people to do anything in chat because nobody knows. Powell said PCE was the important one. Core PCE inflation data is the big one. And if we look at like that, let me see when PCE comes out next. I'm pretty sure it doesn't come out next week. It might be the week after that, on the 24th week. Yeah, so PCE comes out Friday, February 28th, the last day of this month. PCE comes out. That's the big one, the one the Fed's going to watch. They say it's at 1 o'clock, the tariff stuff. Look at these support levels, though, man. The support level's been solid. Again, we've tapped it multiple times, though, so it could break. But we're definitely going to keep that one up. Again, guys, 13 minutes till the market opens. 13 minutes. All right, chat. All right, so we're kind of slowing down towards these levels. They said Eastern Standard Time, but I'm not 100% it's going to be. Yeah, I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern. Who knows, though? Consolidating in this range that we've seen for a minute now. Yeah, there's a lot of new rules on Top Step X too. Next pawn, let me check it out. Yeah, so Nukes Conference 1 p.m. today. Reciprocal tariffs 1 p.m. So we'll see what that looks like. We got 10 minutes left. Again, it kind of looks like a bull flag, even though I'm kind of bearish, but we'll see. Let me fix this top banner. All right, we fixed the banner at the top of the screen. I don't know if I'm gonna stream tariff news. I really don't know, to be honest. All right, let me do another poll. I don't think we've switched the poll out. Does the market correct to the downside today after higher than expected PPI? Yes or no? Basically, does the market come back down after higher than expected PPI? We got 9 minutes left, chat. 9 minutes. Uh, 10 minutes left until the market opens. I'm ready for baseball to start again. Yeah, data was high. How much I trade berries, to be honest. All right, Palantir at 117s. 117s. I like the Dodgers just because I like Shohei Ohtani. Freddie Freeman. I'm an Astros fan. Let the feathers get ruffled. Nvidia push it up. That's what's dragging the market up. Nvidia up to 132s. 132s. Palantir up. Google up. AMD up. Yeah, a lot of tech is green. Tesla moving up a little bit. Gold's bouncing back some too. Yeah, PE is a little too high for me to buy it up. James, do you need my social security number as well? You know, what about my mom's maiden name or the name of my first dog, James? Do you need that as well, sir? Please let me know. All right, guys, we're tapping this resistance level up here at 878s. 878s. Palantir at 117s. Yeah. What goes on in the people's heads, dude? Seriously. Yeah, seriously though, James, why are you asking me that? Yeah. Yeah, my PIN number, you know. We got a poll. Does the market go up or down? Correct to the downside. 63% say yes. Upish, maybe. Nvidia's up, AMD's up, Google's up, Palantir's up, Netflix is flat, not really moving. I haven't been watching Microsoft. Microsoft's actually technically down on the day. Meta is too. So we'll have to wait and see. That was whack, bro. Yeah, I mean, I'm in my mid-30s, dude. Again, I'm not going to tell people too specific stuff about when I graduated high school or, you know, anything like that. It's too many people trying to hack me, man. Seems like expectations are low for anything other than rate pauses. Yeah, I mean, we're going to pause rates next month unless... The only way we're not going to pause rates is if payrolls come in super weak from now to then. If GDP shows up super weak, if unemployment spikes, if stuff like that happens, sure, maybe it looks like we're going to cut, but I don't think so. I think we're going to pause next month. Old enough to trade, but young enough to not look old. Do I not look old? Top 3 youngest looking people in the world right now. Yeah, it's a little bit too early to blame him for CPI. Like, he just took office less than a month ago. You know what I mean? So it's not like CPI being high doesn't have much to do with him at this point in time. Now, next month and the month after that, sure. But this month, it's a little bit too early. AMD's dumping down some here, chat. Dumping down some. Again, AMD's falling down. I'm not sure why. Let's see if we got some economic news to justify this drop. We got less than a minute and a half left now. All right, Tesla dipping down from 348s to 345s. All right, guys, 1 minute left. Yeah, James, I was just kind of messing with you, dude. You'll be okay, man. It's all good. We can be friends. You're my internet friend, bro. Don't worry. We're friends, right, James? Come on now, man. All right, guys. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Let me know if y'all are my internet friends, okay? I thought you guys were. I mean, y'all don't really exist because I can't see you guys. But y'all are my internet friends. 20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds. Definitely top 3 internet friends in the world right now, guys. Hey, 9 seconds. Let's see if the market corrects back down here. Ding, ding, ding. There's the bell. I mean, Surah, say you're mad at me for making money without saying you're mad at me for making money, dude. I can't help it. I'm sorry I make money doing this. You know, I'm sorry, Surah. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean it. All right, guys. Palantir falling down. Google falling down. AMD falling down. Meta falling down. Microsoft falling down. Tesla falling down. Netflix is up a little bit. Nvidia is bouncing back some, though, despite all of this stuff dropping. But again, AMD, Google, Palantir, Netflix, Tesla, all down since the opening bell. Nvidia is bouncing, though, and Microsoft's bouncing up, too. Friendship bracelets, guys. Listen. Produce it now. All right, guys, look. We're up to 883s, 884s, 887s, 889s, 890s. Market's ripping up. Nvidia's bouncing directly off of the previous closing price. So, Nvidia dragging the market up. Where's Apple at? That's what I really got to look at. Apple's up big. That's what's dragging the market up too. Nvidia and Apple leading the way. 904s right now. 904s. I'll send you one that says Tony, and I will wear one that says John. It's got to say top 3 is what it's got to say. You know. First move's the wrong move. Honestly, it might be. Look at this retracement. Nvidia retraced pretty quickly too. So did Apple. I don't know why the retracement happened so quick, but honestly, a lot of other stuff's buying. Like, part of me wants to buy this up. This is way too early for me to trade, but I got to get out right here. So we just made 20 bucks. Way too early for me to trade. But I couldn't help buying this retracement up. It just looked like a good buy, and we're out already. Yeah, you're definitely, Jonathan, listen. You're definitely my top 3 favorite theoretical, non-existent internet friend in the world right now. It's just me and you and the 1,300 other people here, bro. That's it. Microsoft at 408s. Nvidia up to 133s. AMD up to 112s. What a move here, man. Market sometimes just doesn't make sense. High inflation data rips to the upside. Apple is really what's been dragging the market. Apple's been so strong the last, like, the last few days, Apple's been very strong. Apple's been on an upward trend really since January. Pulled back heavy from the highs though. It hit 260s. Look at this move though, man. Wow. Strength coming through in markets. Glad I didn't short too heavy, man. That's why somebody was yelling, short the market, take big size, go down. And I told them the same thing. Like, Nobody freaking knows here, guys. Nobody knows. Certainly not me. Playing favorites. I'm not trying to, bro. Richmond, where you come from? Am I a rich man from Richmond? I'm from Louisiana, dude. Look at this green, though, honestly. It's so green, I want to short it, I think. Maybe it's too late now. All right, guys. Markets pull it back. Am I the Richmond, north of Richmond? Guys. All right, guys, so market's still ripping up. I don't know whether I want to short it or not. I'm kind of waiting. All right, guys. All right, guys, so AMD pump it up a little bit. Again, I thought a short there made sense. Maybe I should have jumped on it. Hey, thank you, Hustle Hard. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. John, let's quit your job money. I got too many windows up. I gotta exit out of some stuff. X. We'll leave that one up. Man, I should have shorted that pullback, dude. Listen to that, man. I kind of got FOMO here at this point in time, dude. All right, look at Apple turn all the way back down here. Here's that correction. I want to short a pop is what I want, but we also could get chop. song coming soon. Man, look at this dump here, guys. Wow, I should have shorted that top. All right, so look at this. I should have shorted that pop at the 200 exponential. It's a little bit too late now. I'm just kind of letting this play out, though. I will short here. I'm going to start to take some size. 1 contract, 2 contracts, 3, 4. We're going to add to this. We will add some more here, too. 8 contracts. See if we drop. Like, we got a nice little cushion built on the day, so I'm trying to let it work. But, man, this is turning against me. Here we go. Drop. There we go. I took half off. We let the rest work. Yes. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and add some more to this. 2 contracts. Actually, we're going to cut that there. And maybe get out there. All right, so we ended up making a ton of money on that trade, so that's nice. All right, guys. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for BS pay, so I can sit here and waste my life away watching John break down all these trades. Lord knows they all just want to keep us broke. The rich men on YouTube telling us what they know. They want total control, want to know what you do, want to keep you blind, watching stocks move. Well, John's calling out traps. He's calling out plays, telling the truth while the algos game. Market makers rigging up the show while retail traders just want to grow. Lord knows they all just want to keep us broke. The rich men on YouTube telling us what they know. Guys, you're welcome. That jewel of a song. I got to thank AI for that one. Is there a MK following that? Yep. Oh, I knew it. Pew pew. I knew it was coming. All right, guys. We're up hundreds on the day. We're up about 300 on the day. You love to see it. I do want to short this pop, to be completely honest. Just made another couple hundred. Up about 400. We're up 112 in this account that y'all see, and we're up 266 on the other. Man, what a drop. Again, part of me wants to short this. I don't know though. We're already up. Like, to be honest, guys, I just made a little bit more. We are up. Here's my P&L on the day just to show you guys this. Right. You can kind of see the long-term stats in all my combines too. 65% accuracy, 61% accurate on the bottom. On the bottom one, we're up 363. On the top one, we're up 113 or so here. So total net, we're up about 5 today, which is nice. We'll take it. Again, I think the short was really predictable, but at this point, we're kind of choppy. NVIDIA is the one dragging the market back up. Honestly, what I'm worried about is tariffs. I think the tariff news might make the market worse, but who knows? Hey, nice, Corey. Congrats, dude. You were too busy making jokes and forgot to short? I actually was short. I'm up $500, bro. You know? Yeah, again, I don't like it here. We're middle range. I'm not really interested in taking anything here. I got to just wait. Part of me wants to short, but I also think it's kind of tricky here. I think it makes sense for us to come back down to the 200 exponential, but I also just don't really trust this. Tariff news is at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, if you want to check out Top Step, this is on Top Step funded accounts. If you want to check them out, I'll put the link in chat again. And again, there's no PDT in futures, very similar to day trading stocks if you watch me here. The good thing about Top Step is that I can take micro contracts like you saw and get into these little trades, and there's zero commission, only a tiny amount of fees per contract. And so I can take smaller size and really attack some of these moves and the support and resistance levels I have on my chart. There's no PDT in futures. Top Step gives you a demo. Test your skill with it. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. The base one's $50 a month. It's not the end of the world if you lose. If you pass it, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split. You got to make 3K without losing 2K. If you fail, you only lose $49 for the base one. It's not the end of the world. Again, they're an affiliate of mine. I'm biased. No PDT run futures. You can day trade, you know, all this stuff. They paid out almost $200 million. But again, I get paid by them. I can't guarantee anything. You want to confirm it all with them. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. All right, guys, this music's got to stop, dude. I can't deal with this. I feel like I'm like in a zombie rave or something with that music. I don't even know what to do with that. Yeah, I couldn't handle it. It's too much. Yes, PPI might be in big yellow letters right here at 0.4%. Look at this pop. Should I do it? Oh, I was about to short down to this level here, 894s, but it's too late now. Oh, look, there's 894s. Ah, right down to that spot, too. Look at that. There's 894s right there. Ah. I'm reading the market well today, but not capitalizing on all of it. Do a Fibonacci extension and see how well your lines line up to be. How? Where's Fibonacci extension? I don't see it, bro. Which one? Fib retracement, fib channel, fib time, resistance, trend-based fib time. Which one? Oh. Where is it? Wait, what am I doing on this chart? Now y'all got me. I don't even know what this is. What have y'all done to me here, guys? There we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't do Fibonacci's. Hamburger bars here, I'm assuming. Yeah, I don't know what any of this means. Hello? Hey. All right, guys. So yeah, we did bounce. Kind of a weird market. Inflation data came in worse than expected. Market ended up ripping up from it. Now we are pulling back from that rip up, which I think makes more sense. But we're kind of flat and choppy as well. So I don't really know what we're gonna do here. We're kind of middle range as well. I think shorting still makes sense, but who freaking knows what's gonna happen here? Yeah, I just never really liked fibs. Just never really used them. I stick with what I like and what works for me. Yeah, keep it simple. 100% I agree. So Elon's talking about Mars. You know, I gotta question the feasibility of all of this. Like, I think it's much more plausible that Mars was once inhabitable, but now it's not. Like, in the deep history of the universe. And so, I'm not sure what is... I mean, I know he wants to make Mars habitable. But it just seems... I mean, I don't know, man. Y'all bullish or bearish from right here? AMD's pushing back up some. Nvidia's cooling off a little bit after runs. Tesla at 347s. How does tax harvesting work? People sell positions, locking in losses ahead of earnings or ahead of the fiscal year ending. So they have to pay less capital gains, is what tax harvesting is. PPI is at 0.4%. Let's watch this level here, though. Such a weird market right now. All right, guys, so we're hitting this 894. I'm watching this funny video. I'm sorry. Definitely top 3 weirdest ever. It's definitely not a nothing burger. I mean, and maybe this is just my own ego, but I tend to think people want to act like PPI is nothing because they get kind of weird that I'm getting views over PPI and other inflation data. So they want to act like it's not relevant and I'm tricking people into watching the stream. You know, maybe that's just my ego. I don't know. But PPI is obviously incredibly relevant for the future of the economy and rate decisions by the Fed. Anybody that understands economics is going to recognize the significance of it. Are you guys bullish or bearish for the rest of the day, though? The tariff news drops in a couple hours. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, it's definitely top 3 biggest egos in the world right now. Listen, I don't have any ego. I let the humility flow through me like water, you know. AMD ripping up to 113.50s. Well, no, the market's response is certainly not sensical sometimes, and that's okay. It can't always be perfect, like, it can't always make perfect sense. If it was, everybody would be rich, to be honest, right? Like, if the market made sense all the time, everybody would be rich. Same thing with earnings. If you could just sit around, wait for companies to have good EPS, good revenue, good guidance, to click buy, nobody would do anything else. They just sit around waiting, and everybody would be rich. Yeah. Hims? Man, Hims is up big. They must have had earnings. I don't know if I like Hims as a company. Like, I know they do like minoxidil and Propecia. If I start losing my hair, I'm going to Hims it up. Propecia it up, you know, minoxidil it up. But I don't know. I just don't trust a mail order company like this. I think this is the future, though. But I think, I don't know. I'm skeptical. For some reason, I don't like it. Is this earnings related, I'm assuming? No, higher inflation means less rate cuts, not more. Yeah, they offer a bunch of stuff for men. Higher inflation means rate cut equals bullish market. No. Higher inflation means less likely to cut rates because rates being low would make inflation worse, not better. And the way to combat inflation is by having a hawkish, high rate pushing Fed. And so high rates or higher inflation means less likely for rate cuts, not more. A more hawkish Fed with higher interest rates moving forward, potentially. A lot of stuff's ripping up, though. Nvidia, AMD, Google's technically green. Netflix is pushing up. Tesla pushing up. Apple is kind of consolidating down, though. You are king. You know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be around for the tariff news. I'm just not. Appreciate you guys helping me hit 156,000 subscribers, though. I genuinely do. Thanks so much, chat. NVIDIA rip it up to 134s. I feel like every time I look at Jack Dorsey, he looks more and more homeless. No offense. He's not homeless. He's one of the richest people in the world. But, you know. All right, guys. Market's starting to pull back a little bit. Highs of the day are at 950 here. 950. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, guys, I'm already up like enough to be probably done for the rest of the day. I don't want to risk giving it back, in all honesty. Yeah, I guess y'all are right. I mean, I don't really care about political stuff, David. I like mob movies. Some of my favorite movies are Scorsese movies, so I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm watching Goodfellas at least once every few years. I'm watching Casino at least once every few years. Nothing can stop me from it, you know. NVIDIA's still ramping up. Yeah, I think I'm just going to get out of here, guys. I'm already up 500 on the day. I think I'm just going to bow out for the day. Up pretty nice. I'll take it. I mean, I'm up 500 today, you know. Also, I make far more than $50 a day. Again, for last year's taxes, it's over $100,000 that I'm paying in just taxes for last year, sir. And so you could say get a real job. I'm probably paying more taxes than you are. No offense, you know. I'm paying more taxes than most people, and that's okay, right? This is not my only income source, by the way. And so I think, like, for y'all, it might be a pleasant thought to feel like I'm living in my mom's basement and I'm not really making any money. And, you know, that might make you feel good. And listen, let it out. It's okay. But that's not the case. And I'm certainly doing this to make money outside of anything I make in trading. My trading might suck. Who cares? I tell people my trading actively sucks. More so than that, I'm looking at the economic reports and data. I mean, my trading might be worst ever. It's definitely top 3 worst trading ever. But that doesn't matter. You know, I'm green no matter what every day. Yeah, if this is my mom's basement, you know, this is a nice freaking basement. Look at the market rip. Look at the market rip. Hey, thank you. Happy thoughts. Top 3 geniuses in the world right now. Hey, thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. Yeah, look at this rip, dude. Huge move. My sugar mom is taking care of me. Hey, listen. Nice mom's basement. Y'all don't know my nickname is Mahogany John? Guys, come on now. Y'all know better than that. The hate is crazy. Yeah, dude. Anytime you do something cool, people get weird. That's normal. Again, though, listen, guys. Focus on yourselves, man. Like, don't be so, like, insecure that you get weird with me about it. Like, focus on yourselves. If you spent, like, energy trying to build yourself up, I think y'all would be a lot happier. Some of you guys would be. I can tell the people that are genuinely supportive as well. And I appreciate you guys. I really do. I'm not telling anybody I'm an expert. I'm not selling a course. I'm not selling a service. I don't even claim to be good. We're covering economics here. And honestly, to be honest, I genuinely like economics more than everything else. I think it's got the biggest edge investing-wise. If you understand economics, I think it's the most interesting over everything else. And like, yeah, we day trade and we swing trade and we invest and stuff, but none of that matters. I don't sell a course. I don't even claim to be good. And we just kind of cover economic data. I think that's reasonable, you know. I tell everybody I'm biased in the one sponsor I have's favor, you know. I'm definitely the top 3 most timid guy ever, but it's all right. How many sponsored plugs did you do today? I probably did 3 in what, 4 hours? Reasonable amount, I think. You know, if it's not, let me know, you know. Hate messages are the louder ones. Yeah, for sure. It's all right. My character flaw is I engage with it too much, but I have fun with it too. I kind of like to burst their bubble a little bit. It's okay. You would too if you were me. You know, we got to have fun with it. John's gonna John. That's right. Hey, thank you, Dirtbike. I appreciate it. Rollover. Yeah, I mean, I thought the market might roll over here too, to be honest. Inflation data was high yesterday and today, and the market's not really down at all from the inflation data. Yeah, the tariffs are coming in an hour. I thought that might make the market drop even more. And so, you know, I'm surprised it didn't, to be honest. Again, who knows? Market's nonsensical sometimes. I'm surprised with higher inflation data, tariff news coming, not in an hour though. Tariff news is coming at 1 p.m. Eastern time. It is now 10:05 Eastern time. So the tariff news really is coming in 3 hours. But I'm surprised the market's not down more on that tariff news. Now, maybe this is a liquidity grab and maybe like the market, whoa, let me get this Fibonacci thing out the way. Maybe this is a liquidity grab and the market's just kind of popping up and then coming right back down and falling back down. It's going to trap a lot of people. I don't know. Again, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, definitely top 3 ever. That guy just shows his ignorance. Even if you do 50 a day with Top Step, yet you got revenue because of your personality and how you are. That's more important than trading. Yeah, I mean, again, man, some people are just mad about their own failures, is what it is. It's okay. You know, I don't even have to, you know, we don't have to keep talking about it. It's all good. You know, I wish him the best, you know. Usually it just stems from his own unhappiness. And, yeah, it's all good. Anyways, Tesla at 350s. AMD's still ripping, but pulling back. So look at the market fall back down here. Again, I'm wondering if this is a liquidity grab or not. I can't tell. Yeah, I'm not going to be around. I'm not going to stream the tariff news, Fabio. It's a little too political for me. And so I try to avoid, like, the last 2 days, we've had a lot of political commentary with the semi-annual monetary policy report to Congress. And even then, we had thousands of people watching, but it was so divisive and like argumentative in chat. I would much rather skip some of these tariff news. Just know it drops at 1 and pay attention to it. I'm sure the big boy news channels like CNBC and stuff like that, I'm sure they're going to stream it. And so I would just watch those and then watch the market reaction if you want to pay attention to what happens with the tariff news. And again, we'll see if that liquidity grab concept happens. I think it makes sense. Like, we went up and we tapped highs for just a second, and then we dumped down really, really quickly. And so I think the liquidity grab thesis is plausible, but who freaking knows, man? Not an investment professional. Yeah, happy thoughts. I'm from Louisiana. Who's buying at all-time highs? Some people are. No, I trade all kind of stuff. Call. I trade stocks, futures, crypto. Am I tripping? Are we rallying after 2 days of higher inflation? We are. Honestly, we are. Which is weird. Odd. Yeah, we'll see what the market does. I appreciate it, Sam. Have a good day, dude. Tariff conference is going to make people depressed. It might. It might. Honestly, again, I'm surprised the market's up. I think that's a lot of pessimism for today. High inflation, tariff news coming out. Unless they're optimistic around what he says about tariffs, which is possible, I guess. Maybe he says good things, easing things, hopeful things. I don't know. What do you guys think in chat? Good or bad things regarding tariffs? Balance is good. Bad. I don't think they'll be big, to be honest. You don't think they're going to influence markets? That's what the market's been talking about recently, is tariffs. I'm streaming a little bit longer today because I want to watch the market. I think today's a little bit more volatile day than normal. But yeah. Why does semiconductors rising very high? I have no idea. Trying to liquidate put premiums. I think the market is way too hot and lots of data being ironed out. It worries me. Yeah, I mean, I'm nervous about it. I've already not wanted to buy the market over the last few months, really. And again, people have called me perma bull for years, but I'm not a permanently bullish trader. Like I buy it when I think it's reasonable to buy it, but I'm not really interested in buying up stuff right now. Inflation data is high, hawkish Fed, interest rates are going to be higher for longer than expected, I think. PPI was higher than expected, CPI was higher than expected. You know, the earnings season is the only thing really helping stocks, because I think most stocks had a positive reaction to earnings, but I think it's been very varied in terms of stuff, and I think there's a lot of extension, a lot of reasons to be worried, but at the same time, nobody freaking knows, and the market might just keep ripping up. Who knows? And market's ripping up right now. Tesla's ripping up. Tesla's been down over the last few days. Nvidia's ripping up. It's almost up to 135s, and this is what's ultimately dragging the market up. AMD's ripping up as well. Hit 114.15s, and AMD was down big from their earnings report a couple weeks ago. So market's definitely been interesting. Internet friend Chuck, my guy, thank you, man. I appreciate it. You think tariffs will be good? Maybe. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Pawn. Yeah, it's sad to hear, bro. Hopefully you make it back. All right. Yeah, tariffs are inflationary, sure. But I think today and yesterday's is I think that like we're not going to be affected by the tariffs this quickly. All right, Nvidia at that high again. Now I'm watching Apple, and Apple's kind of tricky. I don't mind shorting here. I think we have somewhat of a, it's not really a head and shoulders pattern, but it's a higher low symbol here. Here's the high. We had higher, and then this is lower. So you could say head and shoulders, but it's not really that. I think it's a bad head and shoulders. But I think the lower high here makes sense to short. But I'm not telling you to short it. I have no idea. And I think markets could keep running. Tesla could keep running. Nvidia could keep running. And so I'm not really confident in this either. Hey, nice, Chris. Let me see if I can find more data on the tariff news. Let's see if we can find more information. Doing what to avoid legal work? Did I miss somebody else's take? Yeah, and so I'm kind of working on something in the background here. Chat, and so yeah, so bear with me, but that's why I'm staying streaming. I think I changed this yesterday. All right, so now we're pushing up towards highs again. Again, I've kind of slowed down all my stuff here. All right, look at the market test highs as well. Nvidia up to 135s. Sorry, guys. I got to get some business documents here. Bear with me. Market's still ripping up though, guys. Look at the video up there here. My wife reorganized my office. Got paperwork everywhere. All right, look at him still rip up. All right. Market's still flying up here. Yeah, I mean, there's no way you could read this. It doesn't matter either way. It's not like it matters. All right, guys, we're at 135s for NVIDIA. Market's still flying up. Again, I don't really trust this right here. Hold on, guys. Okay. Sorry, guys. Market's still ripping up. I'm waiting to see if it slows down here. Look at these moves. All right, let me just log into this. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. There's not much else going on. So market's ripping up. I'm not really trading. I'm gonna get out of here. Hey, I love you all. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you guys a little bit later. I got some stuff I gotta work on, so I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Have a great day.